You prayed, you fasted, you stayed faithful. But heaven stayed quiet. You woke up every morning hoping for a word, a sign, a whisper, but all you heard was silence. You looked for open doors but only saw walls. You searched the skies but they stayed still. You asked God to move but it felt like he was absent. And in that silence, you began to wonder, have I done something wrong? Have I missed his will? Is God ignoring me? Friend, you're not alone. What you're feeling, the silence, the confusion, the aching, it's something every true believer will experience. But I want to show you something today. I want to take your pain and offer you a new perspective. Because maybe, just maybe, God's silence isn't rejection. Maybe it's preparation, maybe it's love. Maybe it's the deepest kind of presence. Let me take you through this. Let me show you what God is really doing when he seems silent. One of the greatest lies of the enemy is this: if you don't hear God, it means he left you. But let's go to the Bible, let's go to Job. Job lost everything. His family, his health, his finances, his friends turned on him. And the worst part, God didn't say a word. Chapter after chapter, Job pleads, he questions, he cries. But God stays quiet. And yet, God was there, watching, listening, measuring, refining. You see, silence doesn't mean God walked away. It means he's letting something grow in you that can't grow when he's speaking. What grows in silence? Endurance, humility, trust that doesn't rely on feeling. A faith that says, even when I don't see you, I will still serve you. Think about this. A teacher doesn't speak during the test. They're not absent. They're watching to see if you've learned, if you trust what they've already taught. God often prepares us in the classroom of revelation, but then he examines us in the silence of testing. Maybe right now you're in that test, and God isn't punishing you. He's watching your heart. There are things God is doing in your life right now that you can't see with your natural eyes. In the silence, he's rearranging people, he's removing enemies. He's preparing resources. He's closing doors that would destroy you, He's protecting you from blessings you're not ready for. Do you remember Joseph? He had a dream. He saw his future. But then, betrayal, slavery, prison, years of silence. Not one angel, not one prophecy, not one everything will be okay. And yet, in that silence, God was elevating him. God was turning a prison cell into a throne room. Joseph was being trained in the dark, so he could be trusted in the light. Some of your greatest growth is happening in places no one sees, in the secret moments, in the silent nights, in the quiet prayers whispered through tears. Friend, listen closely. The silence is not a punishment, it's a construction. God is building your foundation. If he answered you too soon, you might run ahead of him. If he spoke too clearly, you might idolize the word instead of the word himself. Sometimes God's silence isn't silence at all. It's stillness. It's the kind of whisper that requires your full attention. Elijah was a mighty prophet, but even he struggled with fear and exhaustion. In 1 Kings 19, Elijah ran to a cave, ready to give up. He was expecting God to show up in fire, in wind and thunder, but God wasn't in any of those. Then suddenly, a still small voice, a whisper, gentle, soft, barely audible, but that whisper changed everything. God isn't always loud. He's not always shaking the room. Sometimes he waits until everything else is quiet, your stress, your distractions, your overthinking, and then he speaks. With peace, with clarity, with conviction that settles deep in your soul. If you feel like you can't hear him, maybe it's because he's inviting you to a deeper stillness, a space where your spirit becomes still enough to hear his. One of the hardest truths in the walk of faith is this: sometimes God delays his voice because he's preparing your heart to carry his purpose. You've been asking for the destination, but he's been building your strength for the journey. If he had shown you the full picture too soon, you might have sabotaged it. You might have tried to control it, or given the credit to the wrong people. But when God is silent, he's humbling your heart. He's anchoring your identity. He's proving that your love for him isn't based on blessings. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Notice, it doesn't say, "Hear me and know," or "Feel me and know." It says, "Be still." Stillness is what brings the knowing. Not feelings, not noise, not emotion, Just stillness. So what is he doing in your life right now? He's building trust. He's stretching your capacity. He's teaching you how to walk by faith, not by sight. He's preparing your character so that when the doors open, you'll be ready to stay there. If you felt like God is silent, please hear this. He sees you. He hears every unspoken cry. He bottles every tear. He is closer than your breath. Silence is not abandonment. Stillness is not absence. Delay is not denial. The very fact that you've kept believing, kept praying, kept holding on in the quiet, that's faith. That's worship. That's surrender. When you come out of this silence, you won't be the same. You'll be wiser, you'll be stronger, you'll be more grounded. You'll hear his voice more clearly, not because he got louder, but because you got deeper. Isaiah 30-15, in quietness and trust is your strength. That's what this season is doing. It's giving you strength. So don't run from the silence, don't curse it, don't panic in it, enter it. Lean into it, embrace it, because God is there. And when he does speak again, when the doors open, when the light shines through, you'll know it was worth it. You'll say, I thought you were silent, but you were working all along. Comment below, God, I trust you even in the silence. Subscribe to Divine Echo for weekly encouragement and spirit-led teachings. Share this with someone who feels like God has gone quiet. They need this reminder today.